Mike, you didn't believe me when I said this is a recipe you can't really stuff up and that it's a set and forget. So let me show you how that happens.
All right, prove to me.
Okay.
Show me.
Our oven's on at 160 heating up because we need 6 hours for this. I'd love for you to season the brisket with some salt, pepper, and then we've got a pretty generous amount of Cajun spice here, and that's just an easy way to get all the spices you need all into the one place. Don't need to mix up your own. And then you can just get it into the oven.
It's a nice quick way of getting lots of flavour in, right?
So true. And you like Cajun spice. We've
Love
had
Cajun.
chicken
Love
before
Cajun.
together. There's lots of lovely ways you can use it. And I like to make sure that my brisket's not going to fall off the onions. So I just trim the bottom so it's nice and flat. And then we have a nice flat middle side as well. So that way when we've got the brisket on there, it just sits evenly in the tray. It's looking good. It's a pretty decent sized piece of brisket, isn't it?
It's a mic size. I like it. I like it.
All right, onions go in, and then we'll get the brisket onto the top of the onions.
So literally just straight in like that. You're not sealing it.
Nah.
Nothing.
No, I know. I'm a very different cook to you because I'm a cook as not a chef. So I like to keep things simple but really flavoursome and think about how we can incorporate the health and nutrition components. This brisket would never be served without a good salad, so we're going to do that as well.
It's definitely the first time I've seen a brisket and kale on the same table.
All right, we are going to wrap the brisket in a double layer of Glad foil. That's really important because you want that nice seal and a heavy seal. So a single layer doesn't quite cut it. You need the double layer. Then you get it into the oven and you'll be cooking it for 6 hours. Now, I'd never not check on my brisket throughout the 6 hours. I don't want it to dry out in any way. But if you do see that the water is really starting to evaporate, just top it up with a little bit, pop it back in and make sure that there's still that steam effect circling around the meat because that's what makes it so juicy and delicious.
And pull apart and tender.
Yeah, you know it. Mike, I'm going to make a beautiful smoky tomato sauce to go with the beef brisket. And because, you know, you said you'd never seen cabbage or kale presented with a brisket, I'm going to get you on to making the kale, apple and radish salad. Because you know what? There's a first time for everything.
I feel like I trod on some toes with that comment.
Not at all, not at all. But we want this to be a wholesome family meal. So we've got to get our veggies in there, especially when we're serving up meat. Just going to chop up half a red onion, so that we have a nice base for our sauce. You don't need to get too fine on the chop of the red onion because we're actually going to blitz it all together to make the sauce later and get it in the saucepan with the extra virgin olive oil.
For me, I think brisket, I think smoke. I love how you're introducing that smoky element through the sauce.
Yeah.
Like, it's really clever.
And the Cajun spice as well. Gives it enough of that chilli spice in there.
Absolutely.
So this needs to saute for about 5 to 6 minutes until the onion becomes translucent. So the onions have softened up. We're going to add in the smoky paprika, which will deliver that beautiful smokiness into the tomato sauce. Then we'll add in the diced tomatoes. These are an Aussie tomato. You can see how rich and thick this one is in particular because it's a combination of the tomatoes with a tomato paste, which I love because that then provides a nice thick sauce, which is what we're after.
Yeah, it's beautiful deep red colour, hey?
It is. And this is a lovely sauce too, that if you made up a double batch, for instance, you can actually keep the smoky tomato sauce in the fridge and have it where you might otherwise have a standard barbecue sauce, but it's homemade, so it's just that little bit nicer.
It's a really nice cheat.
And then about a tablespoon of maple syrup. And if you like a little kick of heat in there, then a pinch of chilli flakes is the way to do it. And then it just simmers for 30 to 40 minutes. Get our salad together, and then really it's just a waiting game for the brisket.
Can't wait to taste.
pretty happy with how this has turned out. It's time to get it on the plate so we can all tuck in. Now, Mike, I love the salad you've made.
We swapped. I made the salad. She's done the meat.
That's what it's all about, though. We get to learn from each other here, don't we? So we'll get our meat in there. Do you want to start picking some parsley? Because we're going to garnish the meat with the parsley as well as the smoky tomato sauce. And we absolutely cannot leave these juicy onions in the tray. They definitely want to be a feature within the serving dish. We'll get a little bit more salt and pepper on there before we serve as well. And I think a little bit more of extra virgin olive oil and lemon juice on that salad would be perfect. Now, the rich tomato smoky sauce is going to go over the top, or you could serve it on the side, totally up to you. But I like it on the top. That creates some nice contrasting colours on your serving dish. But this is so great because in 6 hours, whilst this is cooking in the oven, you can achieve so much.
Yeah, you have your day.
That's it. There's not the need to check it. You don't really even need to rest it in my world. I prefer the rest where you lie down and shut your eyes. Yeah. Then some parsley over the top. And then the moment of truth, as we know with a slow cook, is its pullability. Yeah. Is there a technical term for that? Because I'm not sure if there is. All right. Let's see how we go then. This is my favourite bit actually, because also you don't have to think about how you're carving it. The meat's just pulling away beautifully. Look at that. That's cooked to perfection. I'm pretty happy with the result here. You know what you've got to do here, right?
Get a little bit of everything. A
little bit of everything's really important. So straight in for some onion.
Yeah.
Then in with the beef. Look at that. And the smoky tomato sauce, obviously a must.
It's a bit big.
Oh. From you?
That's a pretty damn good brisket.
Yeah.
Considering you literally shoved it in the oven.
That's about it.
So much flavour.
Yeah.
That sauce is spot on. Oh, those onions.
But really, it's just about a few key ingredients here. You don't need to overdo it. There's so much flavour that you just get from good quality tomatoes in the sauce.
Yeah.
From the good spice factor going onto the meat. Juicy onions and just some patience whilst it cooks, which I think everyone could just enjoy a little bit more slow time waiting for a beautiful meal like this to cook. And then the result is pretty epic.
I agree with you, Jacq. You will not be able to mess this up. You have to try this. It is divine.
Should we go back in?
Yeah, please.